Photo game, bud?
Huh?
So you get into the photo game? You got your game?
I'm trying to. But Mikey holding out with all the instructions.
You got to teach him some lighting, Mikey. Where you at?
Brandon didn't do my camera.
Terence, talk about your excitement for this fight. I mean, you finally get that fight that is going to allow you to shine the way you've always wanted to on the biggest stage possible.
I always shine on the big stage. You know, this ain't nothing new to me. You know, so I'm gonna take it how it comes. You know, November 20th. You know what I mean? I just feel like everybody gonna be in for a treat.
Your talent has always been supreme. I mean, obviously undefeated 3-division champion. But taking on a guy like Shawn Porter, what does that do for you? How does that test you in the ring like you've never been tested?
I don't know. I've never been in the ring with Shawn before.
What's the expectation?
Well, I'm expecting him to come and, you know what I mean, do everything he possibly can do to get the job done like anybody else would. You know, I don't view Shawn no different than I view anybody else. Nobody want to lose when they step foot in the ring. So I believe he's going to come 120% prepared, ready to, you know, take my title, and that's going to make for a great fight because I'm going to be 150% ready for whatever he brings to the table.
Is this the deepest amount of respect you've ever had for an opponent? Is that fair to say?
No. I respect every single one of my opponents. It may not seem like it, but, you know, I respect all my opponents until, you know, it gets to that time where, you know, we're about to throw them hands.
Now, bud.
Of course. This is definitely a moment where, you know, everybody, all eyes is going to be on Terence Crawford. You know, everybody already seen what Shawn Porter's capable of doing, but everybody want to see what Terence Crawford going to do. You know, when I look at it, you know, all eyes is going to be on me November 20th.
Do you have to be extra special that night, or can you just win a fight? I mean, it's good enough, right? You beat Shawn Porter, I just won. Do you have to, in your mind, win in a spectacular fashion?
I'm always looking to win in spectacular fashion, you know. But a win is a win in my eyes. You know, no matter how it comes, any shape, form, or fashion, just win at the end of the day. But for me personally, I'm always looking to, you know, close the show and make sure that, you know, I look good doing it.
Would it feel good? Because the only knock that people have on you is like the fights you've had. Finally, you could fight a name, and if you win, no one could say anything about you.
Time out. I could have sworn the last person I beat Shawn Porter. So what makes him a lesser name than Shawn Porter?
Marketing, name, achievement, 2-time champ.
Again, the last opponent that I beat Shawn Porter. So what makes him a lesser opponent than Shawn Porter?
You don't feel like Kell was diminished in his age and all that, and he's lost a few fights to Golovkin and then obviously Spence? Do you think he had diminished a little bit?
Shawn Porter lost to Spence. Shawn Porter lost to Keith Thurman. Shawn Porter lost to Kell Brooks. So what makes me think that when I beat Shawn Porter, they won't say the same? He's, what, same age? You know, so it's hard to say, you know. It's just, when we get in there, we're going to see, you know, and then y'all can criticize me afterwards. And y'all can say, oh, well, he just fought Shawn Porter. You know, he just fought Shawn Porter and this and that, and he got to fight Canelo now. I'm going to be waiting for it.
You fought fighters with any kind of style your whole life.
That's right.
What kind of style does Porter have for you?
Well, Porter, you know, he's going to put pressure. He can box. He can get rugged in there. You know, it's no one style Porter that, you know, I see that everybody else see. You know, he has fast feet. He have good hand speed. He's very athletic. He's durable. So, you know, I really can't say which Shawn Porter I'm going to see come fight night. But like I said once, but I'm going to say it again, we're going to be prepared for whichever style he brings to the table.
You know, but a lot of people seem to avoid Shawn Porter. You seem to embrace this. Do you think with the great sensational victory, it'll silence the critics that say Bud Crawford, yeah, he is pound for pound, but who has he fought? And by the way, I'm in your corner.
It depends on the fashion that I beat Shawn in. You see, everybody that's beat Shawn won on a split decision. So if I beat Shawn in a fashion that I beat everybody else, then they're gonna say, oh, well, Shawn Porter wasn't the same Shawn Porter. But they're gonna say, oh, well, Shawn Porter wasn't the man in the division. So, you know, it really doesn't matter, you know. My thing is doing what I do best, and that's winning in tremendous fashion.
Do you have to make a statement against Porter then? Do you have to go in there and do an absolute 12-round shutout, maybe something that nobody else has done, stopping him, knocking him down a good few times? Do you have to make a statement against Shawn Porter?
Just win.
Just win.
It's never on my mind to go in there and knock somebody out or say, oh, I gotta win all 12 rounds. I'm always going into each and every fight, win a fight. Do whatever you gotta do to win a fight, dictate the fight, control it, make sure you're in control, and you know, the rest will fall in place.
No, but you know, a year ago when I talked to you, you know, people looked at you crazy about the idea of, you know, PBC and Top Rank came together for Wilder and Fury. Why can't I? And, you know, a year later, it's happened, and it obviously worked in your favor. You know, just want to talk a little bit about, like, you know, the patience and understanding the business game, and just knowing that they're gonna come to you if they want.
Well, politics play a big factor in, you know, certain fights not being able to get made. You know, as we know, PBC, Top Rank, and other promotional companies been doing business with each other for years. It's just a matter of, do I want to let my #1 guy in the division go fight one of your guys in the division when I got all these guys from in-house that my guy can fight, and I don't have to do business with y'all, and you know, I can keep all the belts over here instead of risking me fighting one of my guys to go over there to fight, you know, your champion and potentially lose, and you wouldn't do the same for me. So that's how politics play.
And then on top of that, yeah, I know you're a great boxing mind, and I saw you poking fun of Red like a couple months ago on his IG with the Ugas and Pacquiao, and you're like, told you Red, like what was he was like, Ugas Red, like oh.
No, because I told Red before the fight that Ugas was gonna win. You know, and Red thought that Pacquiao was gonna stop Ugas, and you know, he was wrong.
Are you happy how that process worked with the WBO getting involved in this and then saying like, hey, Porter's going to fight Crawford, this is what we're saying? I mean, is that the way boxing should work?
Of course. I feel like, you know, boxing should work in a way kind of like UFC, one champion, one division. Exactly. You know, if the champion is hurt and there's an interim champion, and when the champion gets back, there's no tune-ups, there's no let me get my feet back wet, you go right back into the interim champion and you keep going and so forth.